What's up, everybody? Chris Flick here. Today we're going to be talking about the backbone of all youth sport organizations. That is the volunteers, right? The great Chuck Noll, football coach of the Steel Curtain Pittsburgh Steelers, once said, "The mercenaries will beat the draftees, but the volunteers will crush them both." And what he meant by that is those that are internally driven, that are intrinsically driven to go out and do something, to fight a battle, right? Those that choose to do it have more drive to be successful than those that are paid to do it, the mercenaries, or those that are forced to do it, the draftees, right? It is the volunteers that are choosing to go out there and get on that path to try to ensure a positive sport experience for the kids, right? And those are the people that we need to support. It is those volunteers that we need to give them the tools to be successful, right? And if we are in charge of a sport organization, right, we need to keep this in mind. We need to do everything in our power to keep our coaches out, all right? And one way we could do that is for them to feel confident and comfortable in what they're doing. And the Aspen Institute does a lot of great work on this with the Project Play. Tom Ferry organizes this, and they pump out a lot of great content. And one of the things that they put out there is that one of the reasons that kids stop playing is that they feel like their coach is not equipped to coach their sport, right? And when they go on and they press further and they ask those kids, what do they want out of the coach? Here's the 5 things that they said. They want their coach to show them respect. It's not making fun of them. It's not bullying them. It's not being loud and obnoxious towards them. It is allowing them to have a voice, allowing them to have a choice in how things are done, right? And just kind of treating them like, you know, the little adult that they are. That's number 1. Number 2, you have to be a positive role model. You know, I was always thinking about this when I used to coach some sports, right? And you would go out on the weekends and you would see a sport coach, say there's no football coach, and he's out and he's getting drunk, and you're just thinking to yourself, wait a second, aren't you a teacher? Don't you work with kids? Should you really be out here mingling with parents and saying things that you shouldn't be saying and, you know, acting a fool, right? No is the answer, right? So be a positive role model. Clear, consistent communication, right? Not only do we need to be able to communicate with whatever group we're working with, just because you could coach 18-year-olds doesn't mean you could coach 8-year-olds, right? We have to know who we're dealing with, and we have to be able to communicate at their level. That's number 1. Number 2 of this is being consistent with what we're saying. It's on Monday we can't say the most important thing is scoring goals, and then the next week it's the most important thing is protecting the ball. Then the third week it's like we're talking about defense. You know, you got to have a clear and concise message. You got to be consistent with your game plans. You got to be consistent with your plays. If you're a football coach, let's have a system. Let's stay in that system. Let's have all the coaches communicate the same way, speak the same language to ensure that our kids understand what's going on and eliminate confusion. Number 4, knowledge of the sport, right? Just because you were great back in my day when I used to play travel soccer, you know, that doesn't mean anything, all right? That was 20 years ago. The games have changed. You got to stay up to date, right? Ignorance is no excuse. So, you know, being a volunteer doesn't mean that you should be ignorant to the facts of your sport in the sense of how we communicate and the skills that are involved in it. We need to continually try to learn. The way you did things 20 years ago might not be the best way you do things now. Lastly, what do kids want? They want somebody that listens, right? They don't want to feel like their voice doesn't matter. I was listening to our kindergarten teacher, and she said most conflicts happen when kids feel like they don't have a voice and they don't have a choice. Listen to them, show them respect, and allow them to have a say in the matter. Doesn't mean you have to do what they want to do, but just let them know that they do have a say. And you know, we might not go with that right now, but I appreciate with what you're saying. Keep coming at me with these ideas. Maybe one day we'll go with it. That's what we need to do. So if you have a sport organization, let's support the volunteers. They're the ones that are taking time away from their family, their friends, their job to be out there. Let's use them. Let's not turn them away, and let's train them to be the best coaches they can be. Peace, everybody.